We have another creator critique for you. Fortnite Sanemi Shinazugawa, I totally mispronounced that, totally inflected wrong. Typhoon Blade Only Challenge by EnbyFox. Now, I've done these in the past. I do want to reiterate what a content critique is. This is I, as an internet dingus, looking at someone's work, kind of critiquing, criticizing, all in good faith. Things that work, things that don't work, things that may have worked if something was done a little bit differently, kind of going over the quality and stuff. This is an idea I've had for quite a while. I have to do it in a minimal capacity just because I do have to worry about certain metrics things. However, I think that this is a good way to kind of look and see what people are doing, a way to kind of give back, and honestly just a way to be constructive about it. So go into this being constructive. None of this should be taken as negative. None of this should be taken as any sort of bashing, if you will. Without further ado, get into it.
Yo, what is up, YouTube? Ignore that. You read the title. You know what this is. Typhoon Blade Only. Let's get it. Shouldn't be too difficult because Typhoon Blade is kinda broken, but at the same time it's kinda garbage. So
off the bat, if you want to cut, you would have probably had to cut the original bit, the "Hey YouTube" bit. But if you started with the whole challenge bit, right, talking about the challenge about like what 10 seconds in about, I think that would have been a much stronger start. If we're looking at kind of an anatomy of how a video would work, you're looking at, you know, your hook, your introduction, your content, your delivery, your additional / over delivery, like those kind of concepts. I think that starting with that challenge thing and the much smoother introduction would have been a much better hook. Personally, that being said, that's kind of a subjective thing. Generally, as I've heard from a number of other, hey, this is how you do YouTube, right? When you start off with, hey, YouTube, or today, YouTube, we're talking about, generally isn't a super good hook. I actually fly in the face of that because I start every video with, hi, this is the title. This is who we're reacting to. Not necessarily the best hook, right? So you can use that to kind of influence that. I think that starting off stronger would have been a little better. You do have about 30 seconds to capture audience attention, something that I fail to do consistently.
So if I can get the mythic, then I should be set. I just gotta wait it out till then. Alright, we're going to land Lost Lake, because there is a majority chance that you get a guaranteed Typhoon Blade from there. I'm gonna drop there, I'm gonna get the sword, and I'm gonna get the victory. I don't care how many times it takes. Oh, that's another good video idea. Train only, like train only loot. That would be good. Also,
I think you have the right idea. I think that it's solid. I like the clip breaks. I think that even though the recording broke, instead of explaining recording broke lol, I mean, probably maybe for a screen flash, maybe it would have been appropriate. I feel if you had gone with that, if you, this is actually something I struggle with, condensed sentences, if that makes sense. So when we're talking about something Typhoon Blade, right? Keep it short and sweet, right? I have, in a lot of what I do, have a tendency to use way more commas and semicolons in my speech pattern than really should be there. And when it drags on, it becomes a little hard to kind of follow that, right? But I think keeping it short and keeping it snappy, even with the mic quality, I think would be fine. Now, obviously, you generally want good mic quality. You want good audio quality, right? Your video could be 320p, 480p, but as long as you have good mic quality, people can and still watch it. I think you can work with the audio. I think you can do certain things with it. I think especially if you lean into kind of some kind of like Xbox Live kind of thing. Keeping it short and snappy with the edits, especially because Fortnite, very colorful, very vibrant, very active game, I think could actually go hand in hand with each other.
starting a Spider-Man playthrough.
I know, I'm late.
But it's Spider-Man, so are you really gonna complain? Alright. Acquire Typhoon Blade. And let's get it. Now I am allowed to use any...
I think that was fine though. Acquire Typhoon Blade, jump, and let's get it, right? And then you could have probably cut, and then you could have gone maybe a couple seconds, right, or a couple clips of you using the Typhoon Blade. I think that could have helped with like keeping people engaged, help with the run-on sentence thing.
heals or mobility or anything. I just can't deal damage with anything other than the Typhoon Blade. So rate the combo. I think it's pretty good. Oh wait, I can't use these. I'm stupid. This is my first time doing a challenge like this, so I'm not used to it. But yeah, rate the combo. I think it's pretty good. Squishy. I have Squishy. I'm gonna hire an NPC. Why not? Oh, that was close.
I think for strong edits, I think getting into your single engagements, you see just before you actually close the gap, right? Like you're just out of range of your opponent or just short of firing on them. I think starting about there, going through that entire fight, and then clipping to this, I think that's a very strong edit.
Come here. I need your assistance. There we go.
This game confounds me. I have no idea what 3/4 of this game is, if I'm being completely honest. I know Heavenly Father plays it.
Got it. Hurry up. I gotta find a new blade already.
But you see how the fight was cool, right? Like, this is exactly what I was saying. You see how the fight was cool, but there was some dead time where you're jumping around into that, right? I think if you minimize the travel time and get to get to the fight, right? Get to that high octane action, I think that's the selling point.
Crab in my shoe.
Little loud. I would have toned that down. I'm sure you normalized the audio. I would have toned that down a little bit. That was pretty jarring.
Why was there a crab in my shoe? I'm gonna trick up this cliff. Woo! The fact that this car is still running. Such genius engineering. I am allowed to get weapons to damage NPCs, just not players. Plus it gives me a new sword. What? Where am I getting shot from? Oh, hi. I have slain Zeus.
Trying to figure out, because I'm familiar a little bit with how Fortnite functions. I'm trying to figure out how. So I would classify this as reactive, right? It's not necessarily like. So when the Russian Badger say does a video, right? This would classify more as something like, I would say, like Soviet Womble, right? This is reactive in the moment, so to speak. I feel like where the Russian Badger will have his reactive moments because he streams his stuff, right? Like he actively does things, and then he'll go back later and he'll apply a script and a through line through the entirety of it, right? I feel like this is very reactive. I think reactive content still can work. Absolutely. I'm just trying to figure out how the format would probably work a little better. Because so that's the thing is I have to there's two thought processes I have here where on one hand I have my own biases, I have my own preferences, right? As everyone will have their own biases and preferences, right? It's why people in Warhammer will play, I don't know, Space Marines, and other people will play Grey Knights, and other people will play Tau, right? Like people have their biases and preferences. So if I can look at this from if you wanted to make a challenge video on this as a kind of scripted piece using clips you've had versus keeping the spirit of this video, which is a reactive piece. This is you going throughout sequentially, right? not necessarily adding extra commentary, not necessarily starting off with explaining what the challenge is and then going through your thought process and, throwing some memes and shitposts in. I think if we're keeping it as a reactive piece, which I think is going to respect the core identity of the video more, I think it comes down to picking and choosing your engagements. I think 11-minute runtime, I think, is good. I think some of the clips and cuts you have, I think, are pretty great. The travel time could definitely be cut down a little bit more. Alternatively, how you make something like that fun, how you kind of break it up sequentially, is you have your engagement, you hop in the funny vehicle, and I don't know, you do a barrel roll in the air as you're jumping off a ramp or a cliff or something like that. I think that might be a way to go, and that helps. One, it helps you play the game. Two, it helps keep that reactive element of the video. And really, it shouldn't require any more editing beyond that, right? It also allows you to be more personable. Like, sure, you can take the funny car and just absolutely just jump it off of a cliff, right? And maybe you hop out and you're hop on your glider and you go down and you're like, wow, insurance ain't going to cover that. Ha, funny little quip kind of thing, right? I think that would be an interesting little thing. But and you can kind of toy with that in the moment. You can have your jokes in the moment. And I think that it could work entirely.
Hi, Jade. You look like Venture Overwatch. I love this car. It sounds so cool. More people over here.
Little too much silence. So my initial thought process here would have been, and that's actually what I do a lot in streaming. It's why I pause so much. It's why when I play games, I will keep talking even if I reiterate the thing like 4 times. Because people have seen me where I'll just go through paragraph and then go back and kind of reiterate the opening statement of the paragraph and kind of give more reasoning behind it. Dead air isn't necessarily bad. You can use dead air pretty good. However, when there was just that was dead air, I think that could have been cut in its entirety. I did see that there was a little pyramid thing off to the left. Obviously, this gets into gameplay. If you do see people and don't want to risk getting shot, obviously you're not going to jump off it. But there was an opportunity to say, I don't know, do a funny and try to launch yourself going up that pyramid, right? But obviously, gameplay, not necessarily wanting to get shot. I totally get that, why that wouldn't be a thing. You kind of want it to be additive, right? Like just watching if there's too much dead air, funny ADHD squirrel brain can just not engage with the video, if that makes sense.
Probably NPCs because I'm not as good at the game. But yeah, this guy isn't an NPC. Double kill. Let me get a triple. It's the giant chicken.
Appreciate the loud sound warning.
I tried to pickaxe him, but it didn't work. I can't use that. Stop dropping me ammo when I can't use ammo. I did not mean to do that, and there goes my tire. Nope, guess not. Oh, new car. Not mine. So lucky. Come on, hop in the car.
Get in the damn car now! Get in here!
Oh, why?
Get in the fucking car, Morty!
Mm-hmm.
Island should be spawning soon. Because I believe it spawns in this zone.
Like, that was great. That was fine. Starts car, backs up car, zooms forward. Island should be spawning here. It should be here, and then just cut to island, right? Like you're showing your by cliff notes, you're showing your journey to island, therefore cutting down on some of the dead air time, cutting around certain instances of say you like crashing a building or something like that. There's also some self-depreciation in the video that I'm noticing as well. Be confident. I suck at every game I play, 100%. People have seen my Dead Space VODs. People have seen me use horizontal plasma cutter and completely miss necromorphs, right? Now, I'll say, man, I'm such a bad shot. But I think there's a fine line between funny self-depreciating and, well, if this person is just so down on themselves, this person is just bagging on their own skills, why would someone want to watch that, right? So I'm not saying you can't like call out like, wow, man, totally missed that shot, right? Like, wow, totally missed that shot, super brain dead, wow, 5-head kip, right? If I was to miss a shot, right? You can make something funny out of it, right? I think that it can be done tastefully. I would make sure that you're coming across a little more confident. Like you're doing this challenge, own it, have fun with it, right?
But I'm not sure. I don't know the statistics of when stuff spawns. Ooh, that would be an interesting challenge. Mask only challenge. Is the bridge still in zone? Yes, it is. I'm gonna head to the bridge. It's the bridgiest bridge that has ever bridged. Is Mariah Carey still over here? Still can't believe Mariah Carey is in Fortnite now. Actually, I can definitely believe it. Wouldn't be.
I kind of hate this. I actually kind of hate this. Like, no, I don't like that Fortnite.
The first time someone really popular got into the game out of nowhere.
We've had a few.
Thank you, Mariah. A new car. All right. Let's head deeper into zone. More gunfire over here. And it's 2 AI. Or not. Yeah, no, that was AI. Let's head across the bridge. Yes, the island spawned. Perfect. I'm gonna ignore you. I need to get to this island. Because if I get the mythic blade with the medallion, then I basically just win the game. For those of you who don't know, the medallion that you get from defeating the boss up on this island makes you invisible while sprinting and gives you infinite stamina to sprint with. So
I feel that this would have been better as think like a Russian Badger prelude. Like a Russian Badger, like explaining this in the introduction, right? So for example, if we wanted to say instead of going with reactive content, go towards script focused content, right? You know what you clearly know what the challenge is, right? You can go through the mental process, you can go through the entire thought train of like, okay, yeah, getting this medallion's gonna give me infinite sprint, it's gonna make me go invisible, right? And that's, you know, in the beginning when you're constructing your argument, like, you know, the Typhoon blade is this banger weapon in Fortnite. However, have you ever thought about using just the Typhoon blade? That's what I'm doing. And then you go into like, I decided to test this and see where it went. And thus you get into, what the Typhoon blade is, what its kind of moveset is in terms of damage numbers, right? You go into certain strategies like, well, if I'm using this, I'm not allowed to use this. That doesn't mean I can use this. That doesn't mean I can use this. And certainly doesn't mean that I can use this. Insert popular weapon here. And then you can go into certain tools of how to you're constructing your challenge, right? You're setting the basis going forward, right? You're giving that audience the expectation in your introduction after you have that hook. So then you get into sorry, I'm having to really think about this. So then you're getting into, at that point, certain buffs, certain items that you can get that will help augment. So anything maybe that increases your speed or attack speed, anything that's going to be able to invisible, infinite sprint, right? Something that can help augment it. And then you can, go through, 1 to 3 games in which you do this, and your results and conclusions for each of them. That would be if we're going away from this style of content towards a more edited, kind of story-esque. This is my paper. I'm submitting what I found. My intro paragraph is quite literally going to be, this is the challenge. This is the things that I'm doing. Your first paragraph is going to be like, yeah, so with this challenge, this is kind of my attempts. These are kind of my goals, what I'm going for. Second and third paragraphs are your gameplay. Third paragraph's going to be kind of like your I guess not necessarily conclusions, but like going into each encounter and trying to figure out what does and doesn't work, what the strengths are, what the weaknesses are, and then you get to your conclusions and then your finale, right? I think that if you wanted to structure it like that, I'm very much a fan of looking at things like research papers, if that makes sense, like actual like papers you turn in school. I think it's a banger format. But then again, once I don't necessarily like pitching this as the de facto way of doing this, because inherently that's a different style of content. This is reactive. I think that the mic is fine. I think that for what this is, I think it's neat. I think that as long as you have some pretty strong edits, I think that it diminishes the mic here. Like diminishes the
basically
impact.
Infinite invisibility. Probably not the optimal gun to use against him. Definitely not an optimal gun to use against him.
Does that invalidate the challenge, though? Does using a gun invalidate this Typhoon Blade only challenge? That's the other question. Because to me, as a viewer who knows actually nothing about this, I don't have that tism for Fortnite, I really don't. Does that invalidate the challenge? Does this mean that you're breaking your rule set, right? If you're using a solo run for Pokemon Yellow, right? And you're like, well, this Pokemon has to have Cut and Surf and Strength and Rock Smash, but then you have a second Pokemon. It's like, okay, well, but why do you have this here? Oh, well, when it comes down to this challenge, because HMs are prevalent in Gen 1 Pokemon, we have to have our HM slaves, right? But they will not be used in battle, or you can keep them fainted, right? Those are other things. They can use guns against NPCs. Then I honestly miss that. And I think that's where a prelude could come into play here, like a kind of preface of what the challenge is specifically.
Let me shield up real quick. No, I can't lose like this. I can't lose this challenge fighting an NPC. Come on, go down. Go down. Go down. Go down, go down, go down. Finally.
You could have showed the beginning, few seconds of mid-fight, and then that at the end. I don't think showing the whole fight was incredibly necessary. I think that's a preference. I think it would have helped streamline it a little bit more. But definitely, like that's a subjective call. If you're doing something like you're trying to do a speed run, right? A speed run is generally required to show the entire work. So if we're going with that logic, showing that entire work does make sense. But if we're going that route, is there a way to augment that with, I don't know, soundtrack, sound, some commentary, other than, go down? Is there a way to augment it? That way you're able to, it doesn't feel like there's so much dead air, right?
There we go. Now I have the mythic Typhoon Blade. Perfect. The big fight over here, so I'm just gonna sit here and wait. Actually, no. I can go invisible. I don't need to wait. Come here, Spider-Man. Godspeed, Spider-Man. There was other people nearby, so I definitely still have to be careful. I'm running with my pickaxe to avoid taking away durability from the sword, because if that thing breaks, then I'm kind of just screwed. Only 4 people left. I can do this. Make sure nobody's in that bush. Head over to Seaport City. Might as well. That's where I need to go anyway. Oh, hey, there's someone behind me. People back here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and eliminate them. Hi, Deadpool. Bye, Deadpool. I hate people just running around in cars. It's so annoying. If he still has his car in endgame, then... Or, well, it's already endgame, but you know what I mean. It's me versus the guy in the car. Great. Yep, mm-hmm. He's a coward. I knew it. I knew he would be.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Oh! My bot killed him! 16 kill win. First try, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Thank you very much. If you liked it, please subscribe because I will absolutely be making more videos like this. And I'll see you when I do.
Why can't things just go back to the way they were?
For copyright reasons, I'm gonna make sure to turn that down. So, subjectively, and this is just a subjective me thing, right? My interest started to wane about 4 to 5 minutes in, but that's specifically because I just don't have that Fortnite-tism. Sure, I bought the funny Skibbity toilet back merch. I bought the Mimster Chief in the Soder outfit, but that's not. I just don't really have the tism to play it. I don't have the I don't have the mental capacities to do it. Like knowing there's a bunch of NPCs and stuff. I don't even know NPCs are in the game. There's just a lot there. There's a lot to unpack, and there's other games like Final Fantasy 14 that just take my time up more, if that makes sense. So that's a subjective me thing. That's not necessarily a commentary or criticism of the video itself. That's actually where I would really start pulling from other Fortnite creators, or I would be someone in the comment section who is more familiar with the medium. And certain runs like this would have a little bit more authority than I do to really say one way or the other. I think it was great. I mean, I think aiming for 8 to 10, 11 minutes, I think that's a good sweet spot. I mean, if this went on for, say, 20 minutes, right, I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that it fills that time, right? So I think that time-wise, this was great. I think that when we're talking about establishing that this is the challenge we're going in with, going in, kind of showing your work, going throughout, I think it's great. When it starts coming to dead air, when it starts coming to certain edits, certain clips taking longer than the others, certain edits like the loud atomic bomb sound effect, that was definitely a little bit jarring for me personally. So, I mean, I like it. I like the attempt here. I like what was done. I think that even though it's just Fortnite is subjectively a game that I'm super not into, I think that there's a solid basis here to kind of grow into, to kind of be able to kind of just go ham with. I think there's absolutely something here. I think there just needs to be some refine, some polish, depending on what you're wanting to do. If you're wanting to keep reactive, maybe more talking points. If you're wanting to do more structured, something along the lines of having that structure throughout, being able to structure it. But it just depends what you want to do. I think it was great. So I want to make sure that I'm communicating that none of this should be taken any sort of negativity. This is my own criticisms, critiques, bias, subjectiveness, if you will. And I want to use creator critiques as a way to kind of look at things through a different lens and kind of see what works and what doesn't. So let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. I want to thank EnbyFox for submitting this. I think it was interesting to take a look at. Really appreciated having the opportunity to be able to look at someone else's work and kind of just look through it and kind of analyze it. And I will see you in the next one.